Greetings to everyone. Our topic for the presentation is building research capacity through information literacy. Our agenda for this presentation will be to go through the goal of our learning task, that how metacognitivity can be used in higher education to improvise the quality of our research work and build research capacity. Secondly, we'll proceed towards the procedure that led us to form a result from an intercultural perspective. Lastly, we are going to summarize our topic by sharing what tools are going to be helpful, how can one teach metacognition, how can one become metacognitive learner, and what methods should a teacher use.
In this learning task, we want you to learn how information literacy programs at universities should be designed to improve the quality of research work, and especially how important metacognition is in this context. So, where do our results come from? How did we proceed? Here you can see a short overview. So basically our result, the information program design, is based on different case studies from the countries Kazakhstan, Poland, India, Serbia, and Germany.
So about Serbia case study, that the specific recommendations based on this case, we can say that it is essential that new generations of researchers, lecturers, and students gain knowledge about all available information resources and the basic concept of the communication processes in science. Because of this part of education in Serbia is rarely presented, and it has to start from roots. It is really important to try to get it with the basics and then spread it across and nurture it more after. In a case study about information literacy of University of Belgrade in University Library, Svetozar Markovic, the importance and imperative on of librarians is put up and emphasized, and the regular meetings recommended in Serbian Academic Library Association. Work on familiarization with terminology and professional expressions is also one thing that is knowing that it has to be started from the roots, really important, and emphasize on this case study and this concept of Serbia case studies of informational literacy and meta-literacy put up and based on metacognitive aspects.
Top-down approach based on metacognition studies is needed for 4 learning areas: writing, reading, listening, and speaking. It is essential to help researchers learn what are the causes of current deficiencies in their work and how they can employ suggested changes. Teachers have a crucial role of motivating students to improve their metacognition. The question why regarding learning must always have a decent answer for students to assure high level of motivation. In case of Kazakhstan, one study made in Karaganda Buketov University found out that Trello board could be used to learn metacognition in schools and universities. Another empirical study points out verbalization and note-taking as core components of metacognition studies. It was also made in Kazakhstan, however, there was no practical experiment, and note-taking was viewed as a big component to achieve better understanding of one's metacognition level. Another research points out that metacognition processes are often viewed as specialized skills by many students, but in fact, these skills are crucial to achieve higher academic results. Trello board and the metacognition processes enhancement practices should be used in Kazakhstan to achieve better levels of metacognition. In case of Poland, recommendations are shaped by the policy of Polish Education Ministry since late 20th century. Survey by Czerwinska in 1995 found out that students rarely mentioned teachers as the sources of learning strategies. This situation was being changed thanks to modern processes used in Polish education framework. However, Some deficiencies were found during the pandemic. Students who are able to regulate their own learning process have many strengths as compared to the ones who are incapable of doing so in cases of emergent situations which affect education. Self-correction and mutual evaluation are motivated among students so that they can provide polite and objective wording in their research, and this is viewed as a pivot task for teachers. Another study by Isabella Krasiejko found out that educational self-realization is the logical objective of implementing metacognition exercise and processes. And this final goal should be set before students from the very beginning of metacognition learning practices.
Here are the results from the Indian case studies. To increase metacognitive ability, simply spreading information regarding the use of e-resources is not enough, but there are some methods and strategies that the learner can use. These are information search studies, anti-plagiarism tools, learn and thinking journals, self-directed learning, and reading strategies like previewing, underlining unfamiliar words, rereading difficult sentences, and recalling summary. In education, it's important that teachers alternate education regarding the use of information technology. Because metacognition and academic success correlate, it's important to integrate metacognitive skills into curricular components, and it's important for the universities to use a tool to assess the metacognitive ability, because this can help adjusting metacognition teaching programs to make them more effective.
So what about the results from the German case studies in relation to metacognition? The fact is that the information state is the result of an information process. And this information process is connected to processes of lifelong learning, what means that we should be able to connect learning and research techniques with personal, scientific, and professional goals. During learning, we need to be able to reflect on our learning behavior in order to deal with heterogeneous, dynamic information environments. This also included the openness to participatory learning in the context of social media. So as a conclusion, what we need is a responsible and competent handling of our own information and learning, as well as a critical handling of information technology to verify our information state and knowing about our content responsibility in social media.
In terms of an information literacy program design with reference to metacognition, there are various exercises that are necessary to understand and enhance metacognitive abilities in a professional environment. As a metacognitive learner, some of the most important techniques to develop metacognitive thinking are a spirit of curiosity, the will behind learning the why of understanding things. To gain knowledge is another fundamental aspect which again corroborates to a sense of self-evaluation and critique. It lays a basic foundation for critical thinking. In addition to that, familiarization with terminologies will enable learners to be comfortable and used to metacognitive thinking. As a teacher trying to imbibe metacognition into students, external assessment of the level of metacognitive ability is a basic condition which will determine the type of program to be implemented. There should be hands-on practical methods to teach students not just the value but also to inform them about the fruits of circumstantial application of metacognition, which will teach them about the essential variation in choices and situations wherein composure and introspection are required. To enable such learning, methods such as workshops, gamification, collaborative learning, and imbuing metacognitive activities into regular courses is a must. Importance should be given to self-directed learning, information search studies, and teaching students the most reliable sources of information. Mnemonics and KWL, also known as Know, Want, Learn charts, along with journaling, will help students in understanding their own perspectives and the way they foment opinions, which is an important basis for metacognition. The most important tools that can establish ingenuous and ethical practices in the development of metacognition are Trello boards, which help in collaborative dissemination of ideas and fosters a multiplicity of perspectives, which is especially helpful in group environments. Anti-plagiarism tools will help in making sure that none of the material that is used in research and learning is unoriginal or attributed to the wrong sources. Lastly, there is a need to implement programs in universities that will help in promoting metacognitive thinking in students and will help teachers in developing curriculums that will suit their courses. Metacognitive skills should be integrated as components into the curriculum. Along with that, social media is also an important tool and a platform to help recognize and also implement metacognitive thinking. Collaboration and cooperation with libraries for information literacy promotion should, without a shadow of doubt, also include some basics on metacognition so as to enable students to not just identify but also rectify the notions of learning.